What's up, Blue Chips? Two trades today, IQ and SQ. Before we look at the chart, I just want to show you guys that it's not as bad as it seems. Yes, we pretty much broke every rule in the book, got emotional and revenge traded on SQ, but as you can see, we managed them fairly well considering. So with that said, let's get to it. All right, traders, so real quick, we'll just go over IQ. This was a pretty standard trade. We got the pop-up on volume. We got the alert on the scanner. Pulled it up. It was right before 20. We jumped in, made a nice, decent move. And then it went through 20. We added to our position. We actually had a 112 idea in mind here, looking for the 2 to be over 2050. Went right up to 2050, 2048 to be exact. Didn't get there, came back down, scaled out of our position, had a nice little small winner there. Started with 50 shares there. Was really looking to hit 112 here, so that's why I cut it in half, just to really stop trying to do exactly what I ended up doing here on SQ. So with SQ, we started this, we had this previous resistance line drawn here when we saw the move happening, and it went through it and it started to extend itself away. As you can see, this was at 63, like the 63 area, and our first entry was here at 63.62. So we felt really good about looking to get a retest of the 63 area with our first entry. And then when I got in here, I was like, as this was consolidating, I was like, man, what's going on? This thing doesn't want to pull back. And then I scrolled out a little bit further and realized that we didn't have this line drawn. Didn't realize that yesterday, actually this wasn't yesterday, was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. That we had this line up here. Now, this is an issue for me because if you look at these dotted green lines, this line here, the thicker green line, that's yesterday's high of day, but it didn't account for the earnings. So when I was scrolled in like this, it kind of burnt me a little bit because I didn't even know that this existed. And as you can see that line, I have it drawn now, but it was used a lot more than this line was, right? It went through this line and there was really nothing to the left until that line here at 65 area. So I kind of screwed the pooch on that one a little bit. So when it kind of came up and started to test that area, I was kind of in an interesting spot because I didn't want to just stop out of the position knowing that could be resistance. So I decided to turn this into a 112, 50-50, and then I just turned this into the 2 via 2 orders. So I did 50 and 50 again, and we started getting the pullback, and we scaled out, and then I tried to add back here, looking for it to double top and then continue down, knowing that I was going to stop out if it went high of day, which was through 65, and we went through 65, so we stopped out. So then the emotional side of me kind of kicked in. I'm like, man, this thing's extended. Didn't really feel like a grinder yet. We were just so far away from, you know, that area. And now we were extending away from this line, right, from yesterday in the after hours. So I was like, all right, well, let's try this again and see if we can just get a pullback down to there. So we jump in. We took half off on this pullback here because we felt like it stopped and like this thing just didn't, the way it was trading, it just never wanted to give up. Like it would just kind of drop a little bit and then get bought up. So that's why we took half there. And when it went high of day, I was like, okay, we're starting to extend ourselves. We're going to stay in this thing. And this is where we just started fighting it like an idiot. We just started pounding it 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. And it ended up working out just because we were like, okay, we're starting to get really extended. We really feel like this is a high probability trade. It's going to come back down. So then as it started coming back down, this was really one of the bigger pullbacks of the day. Actually, it was the biggest pullback. And so we scaled out as much as we could. We were looking for this thing to continue down. We kept lowering our stop, and sure enough, we got stopped out right here, right through 66. I said, if it goes through 66 again, this thing's probably going to try to go higher. Well, it was a good stop out. It jumps right back up pretty much to high of day, and it was getting ready to hit 66.50, and I said, okay, I'm going to take one last stab at this. I'm going to look for this to be sort of a sloppy seconds, and it's either going to be a right or right out. So I jumped in. We got 44 on these 100 shares, and I was going to stop out if it went over 50, and sure enough, it didn't. We got a drop right away here, took off half our shares. Again, we had our stop at 51. It tried to start going up, didn't, got a pullback, ended up taking 25 of the 50 remaining shares. And then we were looking for just, a bigger move back down, and we got some of it, and it just kind of felt like it was starting to stall here, like it wanted to move back up. So we took the position, and we were right at the time. But then it ultimately ended up getting shut right back down, and then it ended up coming down lower towards the VWAP area. So yeah, that was my trade on SQ. Not the best of trades. It was actually 3 separate trades. We only really won. We actually won on both of these trades. Not happy with the middle trade at all. Really should have just been okay with how this trade played out. Just to break them up real quick. So this was a trade, and this was a trade. And then this was a trade. So we actually ended up winning on this trade a very small amount, and then we won the most on this one, obviously, and then we lost the most on this one. So it was just a bit frustrating. This one I was okay with, right? We were still under our max loss. We actually didn't manage this one that bad. It just didn't work. This was a complete revenge, emotional type trade. As you can tell, I got very emotional in it and just started hammering the crap out of it. And it ended up working out, but that's, it is what it is. I'm not going to be happy that it worked out after doing something that I probably shouldn't have been in to begin with. However, after it set this high, pulled back, now this is a trade that I would have been happy with. If this trade would have just disappeared, I would have been happy that I had made this trade and this trade. Because this actually had a plan, right? This one wasn't really a plan. This was, okay, we're still extended. I got stopped out. I want to make my money back. Let's trade. That's not the type of trade you should be making. But this trade, we had a plan. It was going to come up, hopefully double top, or possibly go through and fake out. And that was the plan. And we were either right or we were wrong, or it was a be right or be right out type situation. That's what it was. And we ended up being right. So, these are the types of trades that I like. This one I don't. This one I'm fine with. It just sucks. It didn't work. And that was that. So haggle me all you want. It was a red day. I have the live trades. If you guys really want them, I could possibly post them separate, or maybe I'll just make a video separate and have it unlisted. And if you really want to see it, just ask me on Twitter, Discord, or in the comment section below, and I can show it to you. It's not that big of a deal. I just didn't feel like sitting through all of this, trying to edit it and all that good stuff and blah, 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 blah. But that's all I have. I'm just going to try to wash this one under the rug, sweep it under the rug, whatever, water under the bridge, whatever you want to say, to kind of just, I'm going to journal this one. I'm going to come back later. I had both kids today. That was not helping. One was pretty much in my face all day. The other one was crying for most of the day. So it wasn't really helping my situation. I think that's kind of what really caused this middle trade. I just, I was kind of fed up with the loser, and then I got emotional. It was that simple. So I'll just leave it at that. Like and subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. Always appreciate that support. You guys get to see the good, the bad, the ugly, the cutest, the whatever you want to call it. That's what we're here to show you on the channel. We're not here to hide anything. Truthful, transparent, all that good stuff. Just like to throw that in there because I want everyone to know that that's what we're about. You can come here every single day knowing that you're going to get the truth, and it's that simple. I don't mean to brag about it or anything. It's just the truth. The truth is that you're going to get the truth, and you're going to have days like this. Nobody wants to have these days, but this is what day trading is. It's not all glam and glory and all that good stuff. Most days when you have a higher win percentage strategy, you're going to win, but there's going to be days like this where it just doesn't work. And you just have to suck it up and move on to the next day. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So until then, peace.